Hi, my name is Jana, and today I want to show you how you can use one simple tool to eliminate 90% of late rent payments. We've used this form for many years and with hundreds of rental properties. If you would like to see our letter, you can click on sample letter. Feel free to copy the whole thing, use whatever you want to use. And here's, I'm not going to fill out the whole form because that would take forever, but I will go over the different parts, procedures to follow in case of emergency, requesting non-emergency maintenance, utilities, and just what kind of general information you should include in the welcome letter. The first part of the tenant welcome letter should be your contact information or your manager information and the procedures that the tenant needs to follow in case of an emergency. That is emergency that's life-threatening to the tenant and also emergency that's threatening to the property. That's why we've included this language here. The tenants should know that they should call 911 if their life is threatened or the property is on fire. There is actually a reason we've included this after a tenant had called us when one of the properties was on fire. They called us first instead of calling 911. So it's very important to instruct the tenants to know what to do because some people panic. And the other emergency contact this is for emergency repairs only. And underneath you can include what's included, what you consider emergency. I'm going to go back to our sample letter and go over what we've included. Well, actually I wouldn't go over all of it, but we've included that they should call if there's sewer backup impacting the whole house and not just one toilet. It's just things that a tenant may not be aware of. So you basically training them. A landlord had said that they train their tenant the same way they would train an employee. And that made a lot of sense to me. Because when you get a new employee, what do? You give them an operations manual and you show them and you tell them how things work and what will happen if they don't follow procedure. So this is kind of the same thing. One very important information you should include in your welcome letter is the location of the shut-off valve for your house. And I'm not talking about the county shut-off valve. I'm talking about a very convenient place where tenants would have access to. If you don't have a shut-off valve that's convenient, please, it's not that expensive and it could save you a lot of money if the property starts to flood and the tenant waits until a plumber arrives. So include this information where it is. If you're doing the walkthrough in person, go outside and show them where's the location and how to turn the water off. The next part is the requesting non-emergency maintenance and repairs. Here a lot of landlords who don't have property managers have trusted handyman or somebody else who will dispatch those non-emergency maintenance requests. So this is where you include it. If you have a home warranty company also, this is where you put their information. And if you do have home warranty, include all of the information that the tenants need to call the home warranty company directly. There is no need for you to get involved if they're paying everything. You can get involved if they refuse to pay. So that's all the information that's needed for non-emergency repairs. The next part is utility contact information, and this is purely for the tenant benefit and to save you time going back and forth with the tenants. If you provide them with all this information, they will not be emailing you, calling you, asking you all these questions. So you give it to them in the tenant welcome letter. And here we arrive to the truly important part, rent payment policy. Most of this information is already in your lease. However, it's very important that you write it out with, if you want to use capital letters, whatever, to make sure the tenant know when is the rent due, when would you charge a late fee, how many late fees do you waive, preferably only one, and you need to let them know when they will be served an eviction notice, on what date. Also very important, tell them that you make no exceptions to this rule, because if you do, and that's true, that would be considered discrimination. You cannot waive or change your policies for one tenant and not apply it to everybody else. So if they know this rule, they will not be surprised if you deliver a notice, eviction notice. They will be expecting you. So no drama. They will not be calling you with excuses, all kinds of excuses. I'm sure you've heard some, and we've heard many as well, until we started giving tenants and going over this rent policy. And one more thing that's very important: when you institute this payment policy, enforce it. If you tell them that you're gonna do these things, but if you don't, they will not respect your rules, and they will not be effective. So if you tell them you deliver a notice on the 7th, deliver a notice on the 7th. So that's all you need to eliminate 90% of late rent payments. The next part is homeowners association rules. We live in Florida, and we manage properties in Florida. We own and manage properties in Florida. And homeowners associations are really difficult to deal with. So this part, we use this to let tenants know what are the main rules that the association is most strict on. It's a good idea also to give tenant a handbook if you have it. So, but here just make sure you write the most important rules. I'm not going to go over parking policies and mail. This is just information as how where and they can pick up the mail, and how and where they can park. Safety and maintenance inspection. Again, this letter serves a purpose to give information to the tenant, but also to let them know what your rules are and how you operate as a business, and so they're not surprised down the road. So you can write here how often you do these inspections: 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. We find that 6-month inspection is optimal. And here are some additional information with the popularity of Airbnb. A lot of tenants are attempting to use their rentals as Airbnbs, and that creates a huge liability problem for the landlord. So right here, if you don't want that, write no subleasing without without permission from the landlord. And that's also in your lease, I'm sure. Notice to end tenancy. This is, again, it's in your lease, but write it down. And this next part is purely for the form. If you fill all of this form, and you can write your name and your email, you will receive a PDF form exactly the same as our sample letter. We don't keep any of your information. If you don't subscribe to our newsletter, we don't send you junk emails, and we want you to subscribe only if you're interested in receiving more information, if this is useful to you. So we don't keep any of this information. This is purely for you to receive the PDF form. And here's, if you fill out the recipient name, you can fill out your tenant's name and their email, and they will get a copy of the same PDF form. And here, of course, is our terms of use. Although we've managed hundreds of properties, we are not a lawyer. And please, this is not a legal advice. It's just a convenience for you, and that's all. You can read through the whole terms of use, and please click on it to submit the letter, and again you will receive a free PDF form.